Maybe you've been talking to this woman for a while now, and you can feel something there, something real. But every time you get close to understanding what she truly wants, she pulls back. One day she's warm, laughing at every joke, texting you first, making you think, maybe this is going somewhere. And the next day, silence, distance, confusion. And you're left staring at your phone, wondering what you did wrong, wondering why it feels like she's letting you in with one hand and pushing you away with the other. If this is you, you're not crazy. You're not imagining things. You're just dealing with a woman who wants a relationship, but is terrified of what it could mean. Maybe this feels familiar. She looks at you a little too long, like she's trying to say something but can't. She asks you deep questions, but when you ask her something real, she dodges it. She opens up one moment, then shuts down the next. She tells you she doesn't want anything serious, but the way she acts contradicts every word. And you're stuck trying to decode mixed signals that feel like they're slowly draining your confidence. Maybe you've caught yourself thinking, why does she act jealous if she doesn't want me? Or, why does she keep coming back if she's not ready? And deep down, you feel this tug, like she's scared of losing you, but equally scared of choosing you. If this is you, then you already know how exhausting it is. You don't want to pressure her. You don't want to come off needy. But you also don't want to waste your time trying to read someone who seems to be fighting her own feelings more than she's fighting for clarity. So the real question is, how can you tell if she genuinely wants something real with you, but her fear is the only thing holding her back? Most men approach this situation all wrong, and it's not their fault. They've been taught to chase certainty, to demand clarity, to force the answer out of a woman. The problem is, life and relationships rarely hand you clarity on a silver platter. A woman who wants a relationship but is scared, she doesn't need you to push, she needs you to stand steady. That's the first principle. Calm, grounded presence is more powerful than pressure. Your confidence isn't measured by how fast she says yes, it's measured by how steady you remain when she hesitates. Most guys think the solution is to prove themselves more. More attention, more texts, more I care energy. But here's the truth: when a woman is scared, she's already evaluating. She's testing to see who can remain unshakable while she sorts her own emotions. If you chase, you mirror her fear. If you withdraw, you may seem indifferent. But if you hold your ground, show calm patience, and don't let her indecision control your energy, you create a space where she can feel safe enough to step forward. That's the second principle: emotional sovereignty. The men who struggle in this situation mistake her fear for disinterest. They argue with it, they over-explain, they beg for clarity, all while losing themselves. But a grounded man doesn't react to fear with panic or persuasion. He reacts with quiet confidence, with presence, with clarity about his own value. He doesn't need a woman's certainty to define his own. So if you've been second, guessing every text, every pause, every mixed signal, it's time to stop. It's not about convincing her to want you. It's about SS becoming the man whose calm and consistent presence naturally draws her out of fear and into commitment. Once you understand that, everything changes. The coffee shop is quiet, the hum of the espresso machine mixing with the soft clatter of cups. She laughs at something you said, a sound that makes the back of your chest tighten, a warmth you haven't felt in a long time. You notice the way her fingers brush against hers when she reaches for her drink, and for a moment, the world narrows down to that small, fleeting touch. She's here, she's really here, but is she staying? You catch her eyes, and there's something behind them. Hesitation, a question she can't voice. She leans in closer one moment, whispering jokes, sharing stories, letting you glimpse pieces of herself. And then she leans back, distant, guarded. Your chest tightens again. Why does she pull away when I feel her closest? Am I imagining this? Outside, the wind rattles the windows, a reminder of the space between you. You've noticed the little things, the late night texts she sends but deletes too soon, the smiles that fade when you look too long, the casual touch that lingers just a heartbeat longer than it should. Every signal pulls you in, every retreat leaves you questioning. You want to reach out to say the words that might anchor her, but you hesitate. Something tells you that if you push too hard, she'll disappear entirely. You glance at her again. She's fiddling with her cup, biting her lip, avoiding your gaze. And yet, when she laughs, it's directed at you, and when she looks at you, it's like she's trying to say something without words. Fear is there. You can feel it, a shadow behind her eyes. But so is desire, quiet and trembling, waiting for someone steady enough to meet it. And in that moment, you realize she wants something real. She's just terrified to admit it. Here's the truth most men don't want to hear. She isn't confused about you because you're not enough. That's a story you've been telling yourself to justify every doubt, every insecurity. The real reason she hesitates isn't a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of her fear. Fear of commitment, fear of vulnerability, fear of losing herself in someone else. She didn't push you away because you failed. She pushed against the part of herself that wanted to let you in. Another lie you believed: if she's serious, she should act consistent all the time. That's false. Real emotion isn't neat. Real desire isn't a checklist. Her mixed signals, her moments of warmth and retreat, they aren't evidence that she's not ready for you. They're evidence that she's human, torn between longing and fear, as she wants you. She's just scared to say it aloud. And here's one more false belief you need to chase to prove your value. Stop. The more you chase, the more you teach her fear has power over you. Stand steady. Be the man who doesn't get lost in her hesitation, but sees it clearly, honors it, and holds his ground anyway. She didn't ghost you. You disappeared from yourself. Fear isn't a lack of love. It's a call for patience. Her hesitation isn't rejection. It's a mirror of what you need to master first: your calm presence. Once you see these truths, everything changes. You stop overanalyzing, stop doubting, stop running after clarity that only comes with time. You become the man who doesn't just wait. You become the man who creates a safe space for her to want you without fear. That's the difference between confusion and connection. This is what the 1% Headman understands. She isn't the problem, fear is. He doesn't waste energy trying to fix her, decode her, or force her into clarity. He knows that hesitation isn't rejection. It's an invitation to show up as a man who can handle uncertainty without losing himself. This is how he leads with presence, not pressure. He remains steady when she retreats, calm when she tests, and patient when she's unsure. He doesn't chase. He doesn't plead. He doesn't beg for signals to line up perfectly. He knows that true influence comes from being anchored in himself, not from bending to the ebb and flow of her fear. This is what sets him apart. He sees her desire behind the hesitation. He recognizes that mixed signals aren't confusion. They're a woman silently reaching for a man who can match her emotionally, a man who doesn't crumble under the weight of her uncertainty. He isn't reactive, he's magnetic. He doesn't wait to be chosen. He becomes the standard she can't ignore, the calm center she wants to step into. He doesn't need her certainty to define his value because he already knows it, and that is the 1% Headman mindset: steady, grounded, and unshakable, even when she's scared. You're sitting across from her, the conversation hanging in the air like a fragile thread. She smiles, hesitates, looks down at her hands, then back at you. And in that pause, something clicks. Not about her, but about you. You feel the tightness in your chest ease, like a weight you didn't know you were carrying. All those hours of questioning, of doubting, of bending yourself to meet her uncertainty, it suddenly feels unnecessary. In that quiet, a thought rises, clear and unshakable. Your worth doesn't depend on her courage, her timing, or her clarity. You realize you've been waiting for permission to feel good about yourself, waiting for her to decide, waiting for validation that was never hers to give. And in that moment, something powerful shifts. The longing to chase fades, replaced by a calm that comes from knowing your own value. You see her fear, yes. You see the hesitation in her eyes. But you also see yourself standing taller than it ever allowed you to before. And for the first time, you feel it fully. You don't need her certainty to define your confidence. You've been enough all along. And with that, the waiting ends. You stop bending, stop guessing, stop hoping for a signal that might never come. You remember who you are, steady, whole, unshakable, and everything else falls into perspective. She wants you. That's the truth hiding behind every pause, every retreat, every moment of doubt. Her fear isn't about you. It's about stepping into something real, something vulnerable, something that could change her life. And you don't need to fix her, chase her, or convince her. You only needed to stand steady, remember your worth, and let your presence do the work fear can't touch. Because here's the line that matters, the one you'll carry long after tonight. She can only step into love when she sees the man who doesn't chase her fear. He already walks in it.